The Entrepreneurial Journey podcast. We're talking business and building a culture that's kick-ass. Where we make it happen, grab your seat, let's have a blast. At the Entrepreneurial Journey podcast.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Did you know at TriCrest, we've built a kick-ass culture, coach and consultant program? So if you're a business coach or consultant and you're looking for something new, add to your toolbox, or even escape the 9 to 5, join us at our next event. Links in the information on the podcast. See you there. Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Journey podcast. Today I have Erica Moore, who is the founder of the specialty tea company eteaket. Hello, Erica. How are you?
Hello there. I am fabulous. Thanks for having me on.
So you are fabulous. So you are. So I last interviewed you about 3 or 4 years ago, which is how long we've been going with this podcast, which is unbelievable. And back then, your business looked very different to how it looks now. So let me take you back 3 or 4 years ago. What kind of business did you have back then?
Oh, gosh, it's hard to think back that far. 3, 4 years ago, we are obviously, everything that we do has always been focused on tea and trying to get specialty tea from all over the world and bring it to people to help them have a little moment to pause. But I guess for a number of years before that, we've really been brewing, for want of a better word, this whole tea mind concept, which ties into the Chinese 5 elements and the idea that everything in life and in nature and ourselves is all connected to each other. And tea is an amazing conduit for that. So that's all been percolating in the background, and I've been developing that over the past 6 years at least. And so, yes, when lockdown came, we had a tea room in central Edinburgh. I also had a retail shop on Rose Street, which was just round the corner, which with hindsight was an interesting decision, but there was reasons at the time. And then we supplied tea to wholesale tea to businesses all over the UK and a little bit overseas. And we also had our e-commerce website, which was sending tea to people all over the world. Our web sales were about 5% of our overall business at that time.
Okay.
And then the rest very focused on hospitality.
Right.
So, we were focused on tea, but doing a lot.
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit, suddenly the 5% of my business turned into 100% of my business overnight, which was interesting to say the least. It's been a journey, but you've got to roll with the changes and the punches and just learn and take the lessons, and that's what we've been doing. So I guess from that, we really, really immediately saw that people were drinking tea a lot more. They were turning to tea, especially as more and more people were working from home, and we were online a lot more. So we really put everything that we'd learned together and brought out a little free Tea Mind course for people to do at the start of lockdown, and we would send tea out to people. We would hop on Zoom calls, we'd get people drinking tea together and just taking that little pause while their tea's brewing to do a little tea routine so they could start to rebalance and thrive. And really people were really excited by it, and I think it really showed us how little positive changes like that could have a really big effect on people's lives, not only their physical well-being, but also their mental well-being.
Absolutely. So not many people would have associated what is a traditional hospitality-based business, hospitality and retail, and then transitioned into an online business. And, I know hospitality is struggling a lot in many parts of the UK. I don't know about the rest of the world. But this is a really great lesson to learn. And I think within certain hospitality and retail businesses, there is a secret sauce. And you identified the secret sauce as this pause in time. Where did that inspiration come from? Because it's obviously always been sitting there at some level. Where did it come from?
Yeah, it's always been there. I guess through growing my business, I've really realised that in order to grow and achieve what I want to do and to live the best life that I can, I needed to work on my mind. It all started with my mind and getting over various limiting beliefs and blocks and things that were holding me back. So just learning how to pause, to slow down and just take a moment to go in internally and sort of tap into that inner knowing that we all have. And I guess NLP, thanks to yourself, when I first did the course maybe 5 years ago, it was life-changing just to really start to understand that there's this whole internal world, which is how we can really, if we can tap into that, we are in charge of so much more. We can control our own destiny so much more, and we can just have a clearer direction of where we are wanting to go and how we're going to get there. So I've been playing around with my mind and that, using the pause for tea and connecting the tea leaves to the internal world and the mind through the Chinese 5 elements. And I've just been completely obsessed and on a really massive journey, I guess, for years and years and years. It's led me into Reiki. I'm now a Reiki practitioner.
Wow.
Which is incredible. And a trained meditator as well. So I meditate regularly morning and night. I bring Reiki into it. I do my tea meditation. So I tie it all in together with NLP, and I'm now a coach as well. So it all sort of ties in together. But you could ask what that's got to do with running a tea room and a retail shop.
There's so many questions with that, and I think our listeners need to understand that you started life as a big corporate shiny lawyer in a big law firm in the City of London, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So I want people who are listening, who are perhaps sitting in a big corporate going, oh my God, my life's over. I mean, some people love working in a big corporate, and that's fabulous and amazing. Some people just are round pegs in a square hole. And I think that was definitely you, wasn't it?
Definitely me, yes. I am not a detail person. I hate being told what to do. I like having excitement and not knowing what's going to happen from one minute to the next. So being a litigation lawyer in London, particularly, I was involved in lots of insurance and reinsurance cases that would go on for, I think one of them's still going on now.
Oh my God.
I don't know how much, that's a long, 20 years or something it's been going on for. It wasn't really the thing that lit me up and was making me really fulfilled and feel passionate about what I was doing every day. I had a moment one day, in the bath. I'm a water element person, so everything happens. It's all connected to water. And I just decided that day that I was going to find out what it was that I was really passionate about and what I was going to do for the rest of my life, and discovered whole leaf tea that same day, and was just obsessed with it, never looked back.
Wow. Just for our audience, what are the Chinese 5 elements?
So the Chinese 5 elements, they're basically, it starts with the water element, which is all related to winter and to that time before ideas happen, or the time before birth, and then starts to relate to birth. And then we've got the wood element, which relates to springtime. So much like when little buds are starting to spring forth and new shoots coming up, like they are just about now.
Yeah.
It's when ideas sort of burst forth and you start to take action. And then we move to the fire element of the cycle, which is summer. the height of a project, the height of life, or when you're at your most magnetic and really communicative. And then we've got earth, which is the in-between element, which relates to that sort of late summer, in-between sort of phase, which all relates to sort of grounding and nurturing, looking after yourself. And then finally, we've got the metal element, which is the autumn season. So it's all the leaves are starting to fall off the trees. It's all about letting go and appreciating what you've got, learning the lessons, and then moving forward to start the next process of the cycle. So that's it in a
that's
nutshell.
lovely.
And then it all relates to different tastes, different parts of your body, and we can tie it into different types of tea as well. So
Amazing.
it's fascinating. So I run courses on that now because I find it so incredibly useful to just help you live your life in harmony with the seasons, the 5 elements, and yourself and tea.
Oh, I love that. I think that's great. So, okay, let's roll back. COVID, you had to close the cafe and the shop, and then obviously you reopened.
Yes.
But things were never the same again, were they? How did you get rid of the cafe and the shop and really begin to focus on this stuff, this heart-centered stuff that was really drawing you in?
I guess it's living with tea and pausing for tea every day and really sort of tapping into my inner knowing. And I guess things were obviously very different after lockdown when we started getting back out. And I found it the most challenging thing, and which I think is represented across most of the industry at the moment, is getting and retaining staff. I found that really difficult. So when our lease finished on our retail shop, we thought it made perfect sense to move the shop into the tea room because it was so close to each other, and not have the expense of more rent, more rates, more employees, etc. So that was a no-brainer, but it's very difficult closing premises because you've got lots of things tied up in it. There's landlords, there's all sorts of things that you have to deal with. So I did that, managed it, and thanks to I need to think of a better name for her. She's basically amazing, Wonder Woman, Sam. She just is absolutely incredible, so good that I can't think of a good enough title for her. But she had a brainwave of how to reorganise the tea room, so we managed to get more tables in while making it still feel spacious and open, and put the retail shop in at the same time. So we thought we had a good plan. We had good managers in place. We had people coming back in. It was really good to see people coming back into the tea room and just connecting over cups of tea again. But then I knew that the lease was coming up for renewal again at the end of 2023.
Right.
So I made the decision sort of in time to give notice. So it was a really difficult decision because I've had the tea room for 15 years, and it's really helped to grow eteaket as a brand. It's helped to put us on the map, not just in the UK, but we've had lots of overseas events and things because of it. So it's been really amazing, and we had so many amazing customers through it, so many brilliant business opportunities, and fantastic times with team members over the whole 15 years. So it was a big thing to decide whether or not to close it. But it just felt, and I always kind of go with my gut instinct as much as possible, and it felt like the right thing to do. Particularly looking down the line, I just don't see rents coming to any sort of sensible level, rates. I just had such nightmares with utility bills. It was just taking up so much of our time. So I made the decision, really difficult decision, to close it and to focus on fewer things, but to do them to the very best of our ability.
Yeah, I can fully appreciate that difficult decision, because when you have a physical presence somewhere, there's an attachment to it. And like you say, you have a good team and there's a vibe and there's an atmosphere, and you're dealing, like you said, people kind of are drawn to it, and creating something online or beyond that doesn't seem very real or tangible. Um, but it's what many businesses had to do and have now found a new lease of life. And you seem to have done exactly that. You found a new lease of life. So your business is now leaner, definitely. I think it's just you and Sam now, isn't it?
Well, we have more of a team, but we employ them more as sort of consultants and use, rather than employing people directly at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. We're the same. We have me and my co-founder Nick, my brother, and Lauren are EA. Lauren's a bit like your Sam. She kind of EA doesn't do her justice at all. And then Alison is a freelancer and other freelancers, and that seems to work really, really well. And you can
yeah.
achieve a lot with a tiny number of people, can't you?
Oh, it's really eye-opening actually, and really focusing on getting people that are experts at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Big believer in that. Um, yeah, we've tried all sorts, but yeah, I'm really excited about this model. And I I realised that one of my big values is freedom, and
Right.
I love having the freedom to be able to work from anywhere, and just expand and contract as life dictates, because
Yeah.
everything is so uncertain. Things change constantly.
Yeah.
So I really hate being tied down to things. And I love the possibilities of freedom. So
Yeah.
that's what we've done now with this model, and we have got a new physical space. It's our tea space, which is in Leith,
Wow.
which I absolutely love. So we can hold like group tea meditations. We do workshops. We shoot all our online videos for our courses and things in there. So it's a really lovely space where wholesale customers can come, and we do training for them and everything. And it's got everything's in one place, and it's all calm. And we often sit on the floor and just drink tea properly with
That
loads of
sounds
different. Yeah,
lovely.
it's really lovely, really lovely. But yeah, it's very fluid as well, so I could pick it up and move it anywhere. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Did you know at TriCrest we've built a kick-ass culture coach and consultant program? So if you're a business coach or consultant and you're looking for something new, add to your toolbox, or even escape the 9 to 5, join us at our next event. Links in the information on the podcast. See you there.
Not tied to another 10-year lease, which
Oh, brilliant. So how have you got that flexibility in the space? Is it like a serviced office? What is it?
yeah, it's actually an old whiskey bond. So yeah, it's
Ah,
just short sort of rolling leases, which is amazing. And there's so many amazing. It's almost like a secret world of all these businesses that are where there's lots of there's really good sort of nail technicians in that space as well, but
right.
they've got massive space, some of them, and they're so busy, and it just makes perfect sense. Like, I think we need to rethink the way that we do business somehow, and we don't need to tie ourselves down to massive, really long leases with so many overheads, and then the uncertainty of, like, how much are you going to have to pay for dilapidations when you move out? You
Yeah.
have no control over that. There's so
Yeah.
many uncertain things that you can't control, and you're just hit with.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm done with that level of stress. I want to enjoy my life. That's the point.
That's really good information for anybody starting out that kind of business, to check out the serviced office environment first. Like you say, the month to month or the 3 months contract or whatever, keep it short term. Because yeah, you're right. You might grow, you might shrink, your life changes, things develop, your business model changes. We need that flexibility. I think the old lease system was based on, think of Marks and Spencer, who knew they would be on a high street for 20 years because that's what you did. But online has changed all of that. None of that is certain anymore. So tell us about your product, because I have tried it and it is the best tea I've ever tasted. Your Darjeeling, and I think you have Darjeeling Second Flush, is that right?
Yes.
Is off the scale good. So where do you source your product, and do you do fabulous trips to source it? What happens?
Yeah, so our tea comes from all over the world, mainly China, India, Sri Lanka, Japan, Taiwan, all over the world. So I've been all over, been very lucky to be able to travel, even despite having 2 children who were, quite young at the time. It's been really good, and I think particularly during lockdown as well, because more and more tea gardens across the world have gone online and realised they can connect with tea merchants a lot easier as well. So that's been a really good eye opener. So we've met some amazing gardens that way. Again, it's just other ways to do business. So we get the tea in, and then we create different blends depending on what we're looking for. A lot of them we try and do in harmony with the 5 elements as well. So it's about bringing the controlling and the supporting elements together, which can be quite complicated. And then we do things like our Keep the Heat, which we blended during lockdown. It was turned into a school project because my kids just had to help me. The whole, they were there, so they might as well muck in.
Yeah, definitely.
But they helped me blend Keep the Heat in collaboration with Scottish Water, which is a lovely black tea, some Assam and Darjeeling as well, blended with some meadow sweets, and some of it's from a tea garden in Perthshire, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And some heather flowers as well. So just different things like that, and trying to add a little Scottish twist wherever we can.
Yeah, and you do a gin and a whiskey tea, don't you?
We do, yes. So my mum's from Harris.
Uh-huh.
So I spent summers sort of growing up there, still got relatives up there. The Isle of Harris gin, if you've never had it, is absolutely incredible.
It's very good.
Although the bottles aren't big enough.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We were lucky enough to be able to collaborate with them and created our Isle of Harris gin tea. It was quite a few years ago now, and it's still one of our best-selling teas.
Yeah.
And it's got the sugar kelp. So we've got Lewis, he goes out and dives for our sugar kelp. He's an incredible guy.
What sugar kelp?
Seaweed, a special kind of seaweed.
Oh, wow.
And it's all sustainably harvested as well. So, Lewis.
And that goes into your tea?
It goes into our tea, yes.
That's
been lots
fabulous.
of trial and error with that, though.
Wow. I love that. So you must have a really well-defined palate now.
Yeah, it's getting there. I know what I like and what I don't like.
Uh-huh.
I really like to bring lots of people into it as well, and just get lots of different feedback when we're creating a new blend. And
wow.
But I do try not go with what I like all the time, but it does tend to go that way.
Oh, it's your business, and that's what I want to come back to. You're a really good example, Erica, who's somebody who had one kind of business and realized it wasn't working for you or your family, so you've reshaped it into another kind of business. And I really want that message to get across to entrepreneurs, is that because it's your business, it has to work for you. And if it's not working for you in the life stage you're at, whatever that happens to be, you're allowed to change it.
Yes. Yeah, and things change as well. And I think we shouldn't be scared of change. I think we should embrace it. But really, I think it really helps to work backwards. And that's something I did a long time ago, is think right to the end and think, is this how I want my life to go? Or could I do something else? So yeah, I think that really helps, because you only get one shot at it. So you might as well take a big leap if that's what you want to do, and have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And if your business isn't currently working for you and hasn't been for, we always have off months and weeks and things like that. But over a long period of time, if it's consistently not working for you and you own it, for goodness sake, change it. And that change might take a while, but certainly take your lead in that. Follow your heart, your passion, because that will lead to where your business needs to be. And how, obviously the retail shop's gone and things like that. So don't give me actual figures, but how have you turned that 5% into 100% and earn enough to live and pay the bills and things like that? What was that process like?
So I guess as soon as lockdown hit, I was like, right, I don't have a choice now. I need to be visible and on it. And I did a tea routine, like an online video. I think I did it every day for 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a bit too much, but I did it. So it really got me sort of out there connecting with people, and trying to sort of get our message out there. So people really started to resonate with tea a lot more, and they were up for trying different things. So yeah, that really, really helped. The thing I struggle with is it's easy to it's hard to be consistent at that, because life gets in the way and it's really hard to show up at that level. So it's trying to get something that you can manageably stay consistent at, which I'm still working on, especially when life gets in the way and there's loads of other things going on that you've got to deal with. It's hard to be in that headspace all the time. But yeah, that's been a good thing. And sort of collaborating with other people is really good, and realising that you're not alone. So just trying to network and talk to other businesses and work with them as much as possible, I think really helps. And getting good teams of people around you. So we've got a new web developer company. That's been a whole other story I'll not go into.
Yeah.
Quite a few years.
It does. It takes years. It really does take years. I love the fact that people think you're an overnight success. Yeah, it took me 25 years to be that successful. So what I was going to ask you, and I know I will have asked you in this previous podcast, but we've added a couple of questions, and you'll know where this next question comes from. Because you were on the NLP Master Practitioner course where we talked about this. So we talked about the Dharma, your purpose, your destiny. What do you think yours is?
That's a good question. I think my purpose is to help people pause so they can slow down, ideally through connecting with tea leaves, so that they can tap into their inner wisdom and start to just enjoy their life a little bit more, and start thriving. So that's what I really, really am passionate about doing. And my Tea Mind system, so I run courses. It's the teamind.com, which you can sign up there to be the first to know when I finally launch my first course, which is happening quite soon.
Good.
And yeah, on the back of that as well, I'm now able to do coaching sessions. We do group coaching. I've got a membership of lovely women that meet every month. We drink tea together. We do tea meditations. And then I hold physical tea meditation sessions. And that's just so special to be able to get a group of people who I've never met, from every background, from every situation. Some have never drunk tea before. Others are real tea aficionados. And just to come together in a lovely space, a lovely setting, to just be calm and connect in with ourselves and with each other. It's really, really special to be able to do that and to hold space for people. So, yeah, I think that's what I am working on, this next stage of my journey.
I love that. I love that. And if your company, your business had a personality or a character, who would it be, or how would you describe it, Erica?
Personality or a character? I think it would have to be like the sea. It's ever, it's it can be peaceful and still, but also quite choppy and turbulent at times, but it can flow through obstacles, around obstacles, and then it finally gets to a lovely peaceful setting, where it's calm and still and everyone's happy.
Oh, I love that. We've never had an element before. I like that a lot. We've had animals and historical figures and all kinds of things, but we've never had an element. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world, bringing that peace and tranquility and that pause into people's lives through tea. Your tea is amazing. Where can people buy your tea? That's the other thing.
So the main place is eteaket.co.uk. That's eteaket.
Lovely.
And yeah, you can find all our information there.
Lovely. And I assume you can, if you're overseas, you can still buy it from you, can you?
Worldwide delivery.
Great.
Yep. We offer next day delivery as well. So for UK.
Amazing.
And free UK delivery over £25. It might be cheaper. I can't remember.
I highly recommend it. It's fabulous tea and makes great gifts as well. I've bought people your tea before now and they love it.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for having me on, and all the best with your wonderful business as well.
Thanks, Erica. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you love the entrepreneurial journey, how about subscribing and giving us a 5-star review? Wherever you get your podcasts, follow or subscribe and give us a positive review so more entrepreneurs out there don't need to feel alone. Thanks.
The Entrepreneurial Journey podcast. We're talking business and building a culture that's kick-ass.